Okay, wait, so this man failed again and again and again, and you're telling me his name is now on the most famous company in the world.
Fired from one job, bankrupt after another, robbed of the one thing he created. And yes, today, billions of people know his name.
Billions? That doesn't even sound possible.
It sounds impossible, but every single word of it is true. And by the end of this story, you will understand exactly how a man who failed at almost everything built something magical. I'm Alice.
And I'm Leo.
And this is English Decoding, the place where we don't just learn English words, we decode real stories in slow, clear English. So, Leo, let me take you back about 100 years to a young man with almost nothing.
100 years ago, so no phones, no internet, nothing.
Nothing, just a young man, a pencil, and a dream that everybody around him thought was ridiculous. He wanted to make drawings that move. Cartoons.
Okay, but back then, that was a real job, right?
Barely. It was brand new, and most people did not believe in it. In fact, his first real job was at a newspaper, and they fired him very quickly. The editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas.
That is unbelievable. They fired the most imaginative man in history for having no imagination.
Life is funny like that, but here is the first lesson, Leo. He did not stop. Instead, he started his very own company, a small animation studio.
Nice, so things got better.
For a short time, yes, but the company was struggling, and very soon it went bankrupt.
Sorry, what does bankrupt mean exactly? I hear this word a lot.
Good question. Bankrupt means you have completely run out of money, and you cannot pay what you owe. The business is finished. So bankrupt is the moment a company officially has no money left.
Got it, bankrupt, no money left, business finished.
Exactly, and he was not just a little poor. He was so broke that he was sleeping in his office because he could not pay for a place to live. He showered at the train station, and some nights he barely had anything to eat.
Wait, broke and bankrupt, are they the same thing?
Very close, but not the same. Bankrupt is the official word for a business with no money. Broke is the casual word we use for a person with no money. Like, sorry, I can't come tonight, I'm completely broke.
Oh, that's useful. So the company is bankrupt and the person is broke.
Perfect, you are decoding this beautifully.
Honestly, though, this part hits home for me. When I was a student, I was broke like that too. Not sleeping in an office, but counting every coin before the end of the month.
Then you know exactly how he felt. And here is what he did. He sold his camera, his most important tool, just to buy a one-way train ticket to Hollywood.
A one-way ticket, so there was no going back.
No going back. He arrived with around $40 in his pocket and started again, completely from zero.
That takes serious courage. Most people would just give up and find a safe job.
Most people do, but not him. And slowly in Hollywood, things started to work. He created a cartoon character, a funny little rabbit, and people loved it. The rabbit became popular. He was finally making money.
Finally, the man deserves a break.
He thought so too. So he went to the company that distributed his cartoons, the company that sold them to cinemas, and he asked for a little more money to make them even better.
That sounds fair. He created the rabbit after all.
That is exactly what he thought. But in that meeting, he discovered something terrible. The distribution company secretly owned the legal rights to his rabbit. Not him, the company.
Wait, what does rights mean here? Like human rights?
Different kind of rights. Here, the rights means the legal ownership of something you created. If you own the rights to a character, you control it and you earn the money from it. He thought he owned his rabbit, but legally, he did not.
Oh no, I think I see where this is going.
You see correctly. The company told him, accept much less money, or we take the rabbit and make the cartoons without you. And they had already secretly hired away almost all of his artists.
That is brutal. They stole his character and his team at the same time.
In one single meeting, he lost almost everything again. The character he created and the people he worked with. He was betrayed.
Betrayed, that's when someone you trust hurts you, right?
Exactly right. Betrayed means someone you trusted breaks that trust and harms you. and he had trusted them completely.
You know, this is the part that gets me. If I had known about contracts and rights when I was younger, I would not have made some painful mistakes myself. He learned it the hardest way possible.
Almost everybody does, Leo. But now, watch what he does next, because this is the moment the whole story turns.
Okay, I'm ready.
He gets on the long train ride home. He has lost his character, his team, and his income. He is completely defeated. And on that train, instead of giving up, he takes out a pencil and he starts to draw a brand new character.
On the train, right after losing everything.
Right after losing everything. And the character he draws on that train is a little mouse.
No way is it the mouse, the famous one.
It is the mouse, the most famous mouse in the history of the world.
Okay, that gave me chills. So the mouse was basically born out of betrayal.
Out of betrayal and out of refusing to quit. But even then, it was not easy. He took his mouse to a big studio, and do you know what they told him?
Let me guess, another no.
A big no. They said a giant mouse on a cinema screen would terrify the audience. They said it would never work.
People really told Walt Disney that Mickey Mouse would never work.
Now you know who we are talking about. Yes, Walt Disney, fired for no imagination, bankrupt, robbed of his first character, rejected again and again.
And every single person who said no to him was completely wrong.
Every one of them, because he understood something most people forget. Here is the real lesson of his life, and I want you, listening right now, to think about this.
This is the part I want to hear.
Every failure taught him something. Losing his money taught him to be careful with money. Losing his rabbit taught him to protect what he creates. Each disaster gave him a skill that his competitors never had. Failure was not the opposite of his success. Failure was the road to it.
That is a completely different way to look at failing.
Disney himself once said something beautiful about this. He said, "You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you."
A kick in the teeth, so he means a painful, sudden setback.
Exactly. A hard, painful moment that knocks you down. He is saying that sometimes, that exact painful moment is the thing that pushes you toward something far better.
Here is a quick question for everyone listening, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Has something ever gone wrong for you that later turned out to be a good thing? Tell us in the comments in English. We will read them.
It is a wonderful question. And while you think about it, remember the train. Remember the mouse. Remember that the man who built a world of imagination was once fired for having none.
So if someone today feels like a failure, like nothing is working,
Then they are in very good company. Because the most magical name in the world was built by a man who failed and refused to stop.
okay, I am not going to lie, I needed to hear this today.
A lot of us did. That is why we tell these stories here. Not just to learn English, but to decode the ideas hidden inside them. If this story meant something to you, hit subscribe so the next story finds you and you become one of the very first decoders in this community.
We have got more stories like this one coming this week.
We do. I'm Alice.
And I'm Leo.
See you Wednesday.